act like it's new what you're telling me.
We all know drama sells. It's time for another round of State of the Pels. Welcome to the show. Let's bring in the panel. We got four of us here today. Dave ain't here with us. We're going to kick it off real fast, though, with our first question. Everybody always give me an applause when we start. Do we
Yeah.
feel like Zion redeemed himself tonight, guys? I'm going to throw it to Chrissy first. Let's start with you.
Zion said, watch your mouth. That's what Zion said tonight. 36. Love it. The boy was doing his thing tonight. I absolutely love it.
So I feel like redeemed himself, no, but took the right steps, yes, because you don't redeem yourself by going off after one game. You know what I mean? Can you keep that up? Their goals, Stephen A. While he might have said a bunch of egregious things, one thing he touched on was that you got to get in shape. And so it's less about what you're doing on a one night basis. So you got to keep it up, man. I think he started the way for it. I don't think he's there yet. If he give me a few more of these games, we can circle back around to this question. That's my take on it. That's what I got. What you think, JP?
I'll tell you what, man. It's really hard to watch games when the same stuff continues to pop up. And the easy thing to say after this game is be like, oh, he played his best game offensively. And he did. He got to the line more. He did better. But there's still a lot of problems. There's a lot of times he's caught washing the ball. Like letting Kyle Anderson go backdoor on you several times throughout the game. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, super happy we got the win. Super happy we've done a lot of things. He hasn't redeemed himself in my eyes because here's the thing. He hasn't won like the past 10 games or so, right? The last time that he played a number one, number two guy was the Clippers game. And that's the last game that he played really well. Obviously, he beat Utah, beat Philly, but, Joel didn't play and all these other different things. He's got to show consistently. And until that happens, he will not be redeemed in a large group of people's opinions, in my opinion.
That's fair. I'll take the one game. It's one game. Both y'all kind of alluded to that. You got to give him a little credit, though. He came out with a little fire tonight. You could tell he had something on his mind. You got the whole world calling you mean
everything
words.
under the sun. JP, let me ask you a question though. You said he isn't redeemed until he does what he did tonight against one of the stars in the league, one of the number ones. Does it mean anything that he did it to right now the top defensive? According to the statistics, Rudy Gobert is the number one in Defensive Player of the Year voting right now. So does that mean anything to you that he did it against him, and then you got McDaniels on the coming off the bench? Does that give him any cachet in your eyes, or are you just like, nah, he's got to do it against a guy who your head is that?
My commentator answer would be that yes, that matters. My fan answer would be no, it doesn't, because he's still here's the thing. I think there are three different groups of people. I think there are people that want more from Zion. They want him to be the superstar player, right? And I think there's the group of people who kind of are half fans, more or less. And I think there's a group of people that want Zion to show up for the fact that he hasn't, been here for the past 4 years, 5 years, right? So there's three different distinct camps of people who watch and enjoy the Pelicans and NBA as a whole. And so I don't think that you will be able to appease this group that wants you to make up for the past 4 or 5 seasons that you've had, this Zion drama season. I don't think that you're going to appease them. And anytime something comes up like, oh, you're overweight, oh, you're not in shape, but like every time that stuff comes up, it's fuel to their fire, more or less. But at the other end of it, if you can win the fans who really do judge it on a night-to-night basis, if you can win those back, that a whole lot more. And I think that is what should be the focus right now, because the people that hate on you for a long period of time, the hardest thing for them to argue against is success and results. And that's what you have to build up if you're Zion, and more specifically the Pelicans, like as a whole.
Well, I have a question. So if we're saying Zion's out of shape, he can't perform at the level he needs to, and then he does what he did tonight, is he out of shape, or has he not had the motivation or the fire in him to just step up and perform? I mean, he did it tonight against a great team, so he's clearly capable of it in the shape that he's currently in. So what is the real question here? Did he need this motivation? Did he need the national stage to call him out and say, hey, what are you doing? We want to see more from you. So what do y'all think about that?
My brother Dylan, when was the last time you ran a mile?
I ran a mile about a week ago.
All right. So tell me this. If you go out right now and you run a mile, and then what do you think your time would be?
Well, I ran it a week ago and it was 9 minutes. So
Okay.
I'd
If
hope
you
it's
ran
9
a mile
minutes.
every day for a month, do you think your time will get better?
Oh, for sure.
I think that's the conversation. Is
I
that
get
can
it.
he do it? Yeah, he can do it. But is he going to sustain it? Is this his best? Is this the best version of Zion Williamson? It's not.
It's not, and I agree with that, and I get it. I think it's easy for national media first and foremost, but really anybody when you see a guy who is not attacking the ball, is just kind of looking a little lazy on the court and doesn't look like he's in the best shape, it's easy for them to then pick at that, right? Like that's going to be the thing that continuously comes up. To Chrissy's point, he shows even out of shape tonight, or whether he's out of shape or not. Maybe this is his playing shape for the rest of his life. Who knows? He can still do it. So to your credit, JP, like it definitely seems like there's still something there underlying, a mental thing. You know, I say it all the time. It's effort. It's a need to. It's a want to. Like defense and rebounding are two things that you should not even think about. You just
Mhm.
do it.
Period. And I think just to JP, just to um I think he's winning off of natural talent right now. Right, Chrissy? I think he's just so gifted and he does a certain select set of skills so well and he's such a one of one that he can roll out of the bed and do this. Like that's the gift and the curse of being Zion Williamson. He my favorite player, Allen Iverson. I bring him up almost every episode.
Oh
If
God.
Allen Iverson ever lifted a weight, oh my goodness. If Allen Iverson actually cared about staying in the gym, oh my goodness. Like, but Allen Iverson, that he was God blessed him to be talented like that. I think Zion is in that same vein where he's just so naturally gifted that he's had it for so long that it's like someone has it all. And this is going to sound crazy. It almost is like he has to be broken in order for him to fully say, okay, now I got to figure a new way out. But no one has stopped this way, so why would I figure? I've been
But
overweight or not overweight. I've been this size my entire pro career, averaging 26. Why do I need to cut weight just for the extra 4 points when I'm getting paid max dollars right now? You know what I'm saying? Does that make that's where I'm coming from? I just feel like he's winning off of natural talent right now versus
yeah,
the
I
extras.
think I do agree with that. I think that what's going to make a shift in his mind, because like you said, he's going to have to be broken. So you would think maybe the injuries would have been like a breaking point. They weren't. And you know why? Because he was still riding on the thought of what is Zion. And I'm telling you, in that Lakers game, everybody's thought of Zion changed. And that motivated him tonight to go, wait, y'all don't think I'm Zion, the Zion? Like, let me show you tonight. Now, maybe that is going to get him to a point where he's like, I want to get in shape. I want to do even more. But I think he's been perfectly fine averaging 26 in his career. I think that he was satisfied with that. He's making the money and he's got good numbers, and everybody thought this guy's amazing. But when it was against the Lakers that night, everybody started calling him out. And for some people, different things motivate you. And I think that was motivator for him.
I don't disagree, and I kind of want to ask another question here based on that. Should we give more credit here to the Lakers? Like their defensive mind. LeBron clearly came into that game with something to prove. He clearly ran that deep. Like, can we give them a little bit of credit?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. It's stupid. In-season tournament's the dumbest thing that ever happened. It's ridiculous. Nobody cares.
Question.
We're hanging a banner. We're hanging a banner for
It's a
7 games
different color
in
banner.
December. What are
The
we doing?
question isn't
What are we doing?
You
stupid, but the
shifted the
Lakers.
whole question.
He
No,
did.
the Lakers defense, they had a game plan that night and they showed up and they shut down some people that, I mean, it was impressive. The in-season tournament is a whole nother discussion for sure.
I feel like yes, we can give them some credit because it's you know I'm a I'm a Jordan guy, but you gotta respect LeBron. And listen,
Yeah.
AD showed us New Orleans AD. Like that man was on a tear the entirety of the and so it's like I give them respect, but at the same token, it would be different if our guys showed up and failed. They didn't show up. Like
No.
like that's where it's like you at that point you got to say it's less about the Lakers and it's more about the internal. You literally didn't show up. Like the shot attempts were down, the effort was down, the visual of their faces looked like they didn't want to be there. It just was like an L all around. So much so that you got like your third guy, like you draining his energy. He's like,
Mhm.
I gotta figure out he ain't signed up for this. And so I would say you would be right to give LeBron credit for being LeBron. Like I'm not gonna give LeBron more credit for being LeBron. That's what he does. Come playoff time, come any important game. Much respect to AD for showing up. Did not expect that one, but it was more on our guys for not being present when it was time to show up. They talked about the party the night afterwards, but forgot they was going against a beast the night before. So that's just my take.
I see. My thing is not about. I don't know. There's a lot of ways to look at it. I think ultimately was experience got the better of the entire roster, right? Like coming to a game, like there's a lot of history with the Lakers. Everybody knows, a lot of stuff been in the past couple of years with the between the Pelicans and the Lakers. But the biggest thing for me was like, yes, did Bi did Zion, did they not show up? Like, yeah, they didn't show up, right? They didn't play how they needed to play. But at the same time, like I think it exposed Willie Green more than any game in his coaching tenure thus far because realistically, like, don't get me wrong, Zion's not playing well when Bi is not playing well. You in a deficit in a lot of different ways. However, when they are not playing well, you have to do things to make their jobs easier. And consistently, I did not see the rotations that were changed, the lineups, the different half court sets, even some of like the baseline and sideline out of bounds stuff that got really sloppy in that game. It's just kind of like, we have to make a change here. We have to do something different. And giving the ball to Herb Jones 20 times a game when your stars aren't doing well is not going to win you a lot of games. It's just not. Love Herb to death, great basketball player, but depending on Herb to shoot however many shots that he shot that game, I feel like he had so many that game and just kind of hoping he elevates the rest of your team, I think is a bad way to go into a high profile game like that.
But then who do you think he should have turned to in that instance? Herb is a starter. So if you've got Zion and Bi not playing well, are you like, hey, Dyson, you need to cut this deficit in half for us? I mean, who are you really honestly looking to do that?
Say it, Dylan. I'm waiting on it.
Trey Murphy and Jordan Hawkins.
Oh,
There's
Lord.
no reason. Listen, I'm gonna listen. You guys think I'm crazy? There is if Zion can't get going, what will space the floor out easier for Zion than anything else? Shooters. If you simplify the offense and say Zion, play point, drive, and kick, they're going to collapse, drive, and kick. And if they don't collapse, get AD in foul trouble. I don't know what happened. Hawk must have said something about somebody, mama in the locker room. That's another conversation we'll hopefully get to eventually in one of our episodes. But I really feel JP, you said something important right there. It I wouldn't say it's the biggest moment that we've seen Coach Willie show his weaknesses as a coach because there have been some ones that were major.
The
But
Tony Snell minutes, I'll never forget. I'll never forget the Tony Snell minutes.
Look, now you think, your brain is thinking about it now that I brought it up. But it's like, it was one of those games where you gotta switch it up, right? Like Jose and Najee were coming in giving energy, but you need scoring. When you're down by 30, energy ain't gonna compensate for 30. You need some shooters out there. You need some guys who are gonna go after the. And so, I would say, I feel like it's a balance of both. Yes, it's on Coach Willie Green, but also it's on the players to put themselves in position to succeed. So to answer your very simple question, Chrissy, that I made super not simple, complicated, I would have went to the bench and went full on shooters and switched up the scheme. We often talk about how this team can beat you many ways, yet we tried to beat the Lakers one way the entire game. I don't.
Yeah, and
That's my answer.
I agree with you, Dylan. I agree with you, Jacob. Like, if you're down that much, let the shooters shoot and see if they can get you back in the game, because a million 2-pointers really wasn't going to cut it at that point. So I'm not really sure why Jordan didn't play at all in that game.
He said something about somebody's mama, I'm sure,
I
but I'm
don't
gonna
know.
get to the bottom of this. I'm gonna
Trey
get to the
Murphy, I
bottom
mean,
of this.
let it fly. Like, let it fly. Like, that boy, he's got a shot on him. He still hasn't gotten in rhythm yet this season, though, with his shot. So I think there's a little bit of hesitancy there, just because it's like, it works when you've got shooters on the court and you want the defense to collapse or have to push out when the shooters are hitting. But if you're just taking shots to take shots and they're not falling, I mean, they're not going to change up their defense on that. So, but I would have liked to at least seen what could happen. I mean, we were losing by so much anyway.
So we talked a little bit about what's went wrong, right? We talked about some of the negative stuff, but some stuff went right tonight, right? You beat the number 1 seed. Let's switch gears. What went well tonight? What do we attribute this victory to? Is it as simple as Zion just wanted it, or can we point to some other things that stuck out in this game?
I mean,
Somebody
CJ
take.
he struggled. He had a few shots he struggled, and you could tell when it was clicking for him, and then suddenly he knew. When he took that shot on the wing, that quick shot, I knew. I said, okay, this is going in, and he was feeling it. So I think he was a big leader out there. Herb is always a leader. I just see it more and more. With his defense and the way he's talking to players. He's huddling up guys in between like free throws and things like that. I love seeing that from a young player do that. So, and I mean, Zion was great tonight. So Jonas played his butt off. This dude, what was he out there doing tonight? He was like, I felt like he was putting the team on his back there in the beginning. I would love seeing that.
We love an engaged Jonas. We love it.
For me, I feel like she took my Jonas. I think Jonas. No, that's perfect. No, because I think an aggressive Jonas is the best Jonas for this team because he actually makes himself a threat. I don't care if you miss 3,000 times. Just shoot the ball because the more you shoot, the more they have to account for you on the floor. That coupled with, I mean, we say the same thing, but man, this game could have been easily lost on the amount of back cuts we let happen and things of that nature. Herb Jones' ability to erase bad positioning of his teammates is crazy. Like I don't even some of the things he covers up. I'm like, how did you see that? Your back was completely to the plate. Like how do you, I don't know how he does it, but I'm just hoping as long as Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram are putting on a Pelicans jersey, so is Herb Jones. Because the moment he is no longer putting on a Pelicans jersey, a lot of people are going to be put on Front Street, and we're not going to be too excited about it. So I would say Jonas' play, his aggressiveness, and also definitely Herb Jones' ability to just cover up all of the imperfection of his teammates. I really do think that. And also the third, I'm going to take someone else, just a third to throw it in. We shot a lot of free throws.
Yeah. We made a lot of free throws.
Zion had 10 free throws at the end of the first half. I was like, God, this must be the end game right here. We didn't made it. We didn't made it. Look at these refs doing their job finally. Don't fire me. I don't have any money. But that's my take.
Yeah, the rest were so weird tonight. It felt like, I mean, I'm not harping on it, but I think one of the really cool things to see tonight was, in every, there's, if you listen to AD and Joel and talk about it a lot, they talk about like, the game within the game, right? So it seemed it's weird because we have these times where it's like, okay, we're really good at this piece of the offense for these like 2 or 3 games, and then we turn to this piece. But tonight, what I really liked was the idea that we have our sets and then we have our counter sets. So it's kind of like an option route, more or less, in football, where it's like, oh, I can either run a hook or I can just keep running a go, right? And we ran a couple of different looks out of a couple of the same sets and tricked 2 or 3 different Jaden McDaniels, who is a fantastic defender, tricked him on as I saw specifically, I think it was the beginning of the third when we were on that little run. I was like, yes, like Thank you. I'm so happy that it's kind of they talk about in football like if you're a defensive lineman and you do really really well, you have a one move defensive lineman will be in the Hall of Fame in the NFL, right? But if you get a counter move, you turn into somebody more like Aaron Donald, right? And so if the Pelicans can go from a person who has one move to someone who has two moves, three moves, to where you do have to account for all the other players because is and what we see all the time is that the ball sticks, right? Everybody knows that, okay, if we've got a clear out on one side, Zion's got the ball on the left wing and Jonas is right there. Jonas is going to come set a pick and Zion's going to the hole. And as great and as unstoppable as that play is, you have to have backside motion from the shooters, backside motion from the guards, backside cuts from guys like Herb to make that play have a bevy of options that will help your offense not only be unpredictable in a way that is good, but will also be predictable way for guys like CJ, guys like Trey, guys like Hawkins, if he ever gets a chance to play again, so that they know their role and so that our team can be more successful.
You just got me cracking up over here, Dylan. Every time Hawks names mention, Dylan's eyes get about this big, man. I swear he needs to know. We need information.
Bro, I don't even know who did he do it to. Whoever I'm sorry on behalf of the Pelicans friends. We had a top 3 rookie of the year candidate playing, and all of a sudden he just disappears. It doesn't make sense.
We talked about this though. We talked about how once people started getting healthy, what happens to the minutes, who loses time.
I get it, but here's the thing. You don't stop playing a guy who's top 3 rookie. Like if you were playing like some guy who's like, oh, cheer me up, kid. Like I love this guy to pieces. He's one of my favorite Hornets of all time. Dan Dickau got in the game when we had an injury. We traded Darryl Armstrong, and then we had an injury, and then they just threw Dan Dickau into the game. And New Orleans fell in love with Dan Dickau. But guess what? The next year, Dan Dickau was out of New Orleans because people live in reality. Dan Dickau wasn't winning any awards as the Hornets starting point guard. We had a guy who was top 3 rookie of the year candidate, only behind an alien and a second year rookie. Like I don't care that he can't play defense. You listen, put him on the floor with Herb and Dyson and say, listen, just don't get back cut. Whatever you do, don't get back cut and we'll be good. No, Patty, you cannot talk.
Oh,
you cannot talk. You cannot
I just have
talk.
a question.
No questions at all. Put Hawk in the game. That's just put him in the game. Put him in the game.
Whose minutes is he taking?
Listen, don't you get me started. I'll put names on it.
Come on.
Okay, tell us.
First off,
I want to hear this.
Give me some of them Najee minutes. Give me some of the Najee minutes. You was gonna say nah before I said the first name. I'm not worried about you.
I guarantee. I know you're gonna say. You're saying, "Oh, take Najee's minutes. Oh, take a couple Jose's minutes."
No, I was not gonna say. See, look at you. Look at you. Look at you. Relax, North Carolina State. Dennis Smith
Oh my
Jr.
goodness.
Give me some of them Najee minutes. Najee's playing 15 minutes a game. Cut it down to 10, and then this is gonna be the chaotic one, and I'm ready for this.
Oh no.
I'm gonna embrace this. Give me some of them Brandon Ingram minutes.
Oh my gosh, Dylan.
Let me explain. Listen, I don't listen. Let me explain. Brandon Ingram. Somebody pull up Brandon Ingram's minutes tonight. There was a moment in the game where he disappeared, and I forgot he got back in the game. I don't want to sound like I usually like to have my stats up, but I don't have them up right now. Chrissy, you usually always have your stats up.
I can't. Videoing on the phone.
Somebody pull up Brandon. I'm telling you, I'm not saying don't play Brandon in the 4th. I'm saying we can live with a few less second quarter minutes of Brandon Ingram to start the second quarter. That's my take. I will be okay with that. I'm not saying he needs 20 minutes a game. I'm saying this, guys, we're not talking about any rookie. This guy was literally leading the league in 3-point attempts.
Well, he was, and he's not anymore because he's not getting any minutes. So something is up.
37%. I'm sorry, I can't. No, you can't stop me yet, Chrissy.
Oh my gosh.
shooting
going. Go ahead.
37.8%. And you have this behemoth of a man. Can't say that anymore because Stephen A. ruined it. You have this 6'6" Greek. Never mind. I don't believe in that. You have this huge human being in the game that this other individual that can cancel out. And we just sit him on the end of the bench and say, tough luck, kid. I'm going to shut up now before I blow a gasket.
I just don't. I don't believe that you believe that a Jose and Jordan Hawkins duo is going to stop anybody on defense.
So somebody pull up Najee's defensive rating. I think you misconfused Scrappy for actual defense. Like,
I'm not even talking about Najee. You're the one bring him up. You talk about you wanting to play Jose Alvarado, who is a fantastic player. Fantastic player. You want to play. You talking about beginning of the second quarter minutes? That's Jose. That's Jose's minutes. That's Jose's minutes. So you want to pair Jose, little guy, with Jordan Hawkins, another little guy.
Who else?
Not great.
Jordan Hawkins is 6'5". Who else is on the floor?
He's 6'5", $120. What are we talking about?
How big is Patrick Beverly?
That's fair.
No idea.
Oh no! What happened?
I don't know, but I'm gonna say this: Najee Marshall's defensive rating is 114 right now. So
that's actually not that bad. I'm sorry, Najee. That's pretty average. That's below. That's below league average, but it's still pretty average. League average is 111.
Little comment. If Brandon Ingram doesn't play the fourth quarter tonight, I don't think the Pelicans win.
You said he doesn't play the fourth quarter?
I said if he didn't play the fourth quarter tonight, if he didn't get those minutes in the fourth tonight, I don't know that we win. So
I didn't say
you did. You said earlier.
I said second. I said his second.
And
quarter,
you said the fourth.
No.
Yes, you did. Did he say the fourth?
If I said that, I was lying.
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Yes, you said the fourth.
You
can't take these minutes from BI. No, sorry, Rook, but you got to sit and you got to learn.
That's crazy.
Okay, and you got to learn from BI. That's what you got to do.
I will be alert if Matt Ryan gets back and he starts getting minutes. Then I'll be like, all right,
what's going on?
But
yeah.
I just don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, from so many narratives for a small market, you got a guy that has the chance to win the Rookie of the Year. He isn't going to win it because we know it's a popularity vote. But the fact that he was drafted as low as he is, we need to move on. I don't understand, because this is great teams don't make moves like this. Like like the Spurs back in the day, if they found a guy, they ran with that guy. Like Golden State found Draymond Green, and Draymond Green fit a place, and they ran with Draymond Green.
What did Golden State do with Wiseman? What did Golden State do with Moody? What did Golden State do with Kuminga? What are we talking about?
You're talking about, see, again, JP, you're playing checkers when I'm playing chess, baby. Come on. You're talking about top 5 picks. I'm talking about outside of the top 5. They found Draymond. Wiseman is a top 5 pick. Kuminga is a top 10 pick, I think. Look up the other cat. I don't know what he is, and he's playing right now. What are you even talking? Why?
They didn't play their rookie year.
Because who were they behind?
BI and Zion and Herb and Trey.
They were behind.
We agree.
Oh my goodness, you guys! This is crazy. I can't listen. The difference is this, and I'm gonna leave it here, and then we can move on, Patty, because I'm gonna blow a gasket. I know, because these people, the kid, we have to move past a small market mentality that says we have to appease certain people. If you have a guy, listen, if you have a guy that's doing what Jordan is doing, like, I'm not saying he needs 20 minutes. That's not what I'm saying. But to put him in with 30 seconds left in the game is just disrespectful. Like, after what he's like, I saw that happen. I was like, come on, man. Like,
look, I don't like it. I don't like it either, but somebody was going to lose minutes. I think it's very common for a rookie to lose minutes. Like, I think that's kind of how it goes. It is a little bit of that. Right. I don't think it's Willie thinking he's not good anymore. I just think it's everybody's healthy. Who's going to get the most minutes? We're trying to win right now.
There's a difference between most minutes and no minutes. I'm going to stop there.
So
I
I'm
don't
going to
mind
chime in
sitting- I
because
don't
you
mind
asked.
sitting a guy that's shooting 38% from the field. I don't mind sitting that guy.
What'd you say?
I don't mind sitting the guy shooting 38% from the field. I don't care.
Patty, keep moving.
Are we good? We're good. I do want to wrap this up with the one question you asked. How many minutes did BI have tonight? He had 29. He wasn't even like top 4 in minutes. So, I mean, you could take minutes from him, but you're going to give BI less than 29 minutes a game?
No.
No
I'm
way.
saying that was the low of. That's what I'm saying. You're making
Oh,
my
yeah,
point.
yeah.
That was a
Okay,
low
okay.
for Bi. Bi plays over 30 easy, and look how good they look. I'm not. Listen, y'all are making me sound like I'm a Bi hater. I love Bi minutes. They're amazing, but I'm saying you could be okay if you gave a few of Bi's minutes to Hawkins to rest Bi more. That's all I'm saying.
That's
Again,
fair.
let's move on. This whole conversation has been about Hawk, but it's supposed to be about the Pels. I'm sorry.
I mean,
Hey,
Hawk
Hawk is the
is a
Pels.
player for the
Valid.
Pels.
Valid.
Caw-caw.
Valid.
Caw-caw. All right, listen. We can wrap this up. I got one more thought, and then we'll do our little like around the horn thing that we like to finish with. But my last question here to kick off this last conversation: Pels look like they have a pretty easy schedule coming up. Do they go on a run, or do they Pell like they've been doing this year and play down to the competition? What's your thoughts? I can pull up the schedule if you want to read it all.
I'll start it off. I think we're going on a run. I think the Lakers thing was such a debacle. I feel like, and I'm just going to say, I feel like especially men have some pride in them, which is a good thing. And I think their ego was all a little hurt on that national stage. And so I'm ready to see I'm ready to just show us what you got, Zion. Like, I loved it tonight. So I think they're going on a run. I think they're ready to show we're better than that.
I love it.
I'm going to read a quote to you.
Okay.
Home is where you're loved. If you love this city, which I very much do, it'll love you back. I'm going to do my best not to let y'all down. Guess who said that? Zion Williamson. I think Stephen A was a necessary evil.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think we might. I don't know if the in shape thing. I don't know about blase. But I watched that Jen Hale post game pressure. Look, that was highlights. Oh goodness, I watched that Jen Hale post game pressure, and Zion ain't want to talk. That's the shortest I've ever heard Zion talk, and I was like, Jen ain't even doing that. What you mad at her for? But the truth is, I think these next. What do we got? We got San Antonio. And I'm gonna shut up. We got San Antonio, we got Charlotte, then we got Washington, San Antonio, Charlotte. Yeah. We at least gonna take those 3, and then we'll see after that for sure. That's
then you got Memphis, Cleveland, Houston.
Cleveland's
Memphis.
Tough. Cleveland always plays us tough, so I get nervous about Cleveland. But that's
even still, I mean, looking through that stretch. But yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
What about you, JP?
Hey, don't forget, Memphis gets Ja back like next week or something like that.
Yeah, I think right against us. If I saw the date.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah,
He gonna be
19.
mad. He gonna be mad. I will say this: I think that the Pels probably go on a run. It's weird to watch the team this season. You don't know who's going to show up. I'm hoping that this is more of because you had a really good team coming in to New Orleans. A lot of these games early on, you play at the Spurs. You play at the Wizards, and you play at the Hornets. So like. While they are teams that might not be great, weird stuff happens on the road with teams all the time. So especially with travel dates and everything like that. So we'll see. I hope that there's a run coming because winning 3 games and then coming back to the blender to play Ja for his first game back, be a good game. Be a good game to go see. Good game to go see.
I love it. I don't have thoughts. I'm going to be honest. I'm just hoping they don't play down. That's my biggest fear. I feel like all year we've seen that. I agree with you a little bit, JP. You don't know who's going to show up. I hope now that everybody's healthy with this lighter schedule that you get to see them start to roll. Maybe they take everything personally that has happened recently and just blow through things. I hope. We'll see. I'm jaded. We'll see what happens. We'll close this thing out. I don't know if you've seen the last few we've done. But we like to just close out with closing thoughts on anything. It doesn't have to be Pelicans basketball. It could be any basketball. It could be any sport. It could be life. Whatever you want to close with. We could go from there. Who wants to start? Anybody want to kick us off?
I got you.
Go ahead.
All right. The holiday season is always hard for people who struggle with depression and anxiety. Make sure you're calling and checking on your family who you know struggle with those things and love on them. Invite them over to your house. Don't let a family member do the holiday season alone because you never know what they might be one step away from doing. Love.
I love that.
Dylan, you're such a good person. That's good. That's good stuff. I'm going to just sign off with last time I talked about the Ohtani signing. I'm now very mad about it now that I know where he's gone. Giants fan here. He went to our rivals and he's like fixing a cap. I don't even know. I'm so annoyed. So the Pels better bring me through the rest of the season because I am not a happy sports fan right now. Go Pels. We got this.
I feel that. JP, you want to go? You want me to go?
The peppermint milkshake is back at Filet. Go bless your body and get one.
Oh, I've never had
Hell
that.
yeah. Hell yeah. So there's a quote that was said today. Everybody knows I'm a big Tulane fan. You probably know what's coming. But I'm also going to apply this to the Pels, and also kind of to the thought, if the city loves you, it'll love you back, right? To the Zion thing we just talked about. Coach Summerall, who's the new coach for the Tulane Greenway football team, he had bars today, okay? He said, if you're juiceless, you're useless. And this city's got a lot of juice. That's it. Mic drop.
Mic drop.
We could close it out that way. Until next time, appreciate y'all. See you soon.